Okay, what's up, everybody? We're back. It's been 4 weeks, and I really wish I'd been able to stream more. It's been health issues, family stuff, a lot of struggles, but we're back. Happy to be back, and I really want to keep streaming. So we got a new time. It's 10 a.m. Normally, it is Tuesday today, but normally I'll be going Monday at 10 a.m. Yesterday I couldn't. I was basically gone all day, not work related, just couldn't do it yesterday. But normally Mondays at 10 a.m. we'll be streaming. I might have to take a break about every 20 or 30 minutes to stretch, but we'll get through it. And note, today we're doing SaaS revenue forecasting. Before I get into it, don't forget to like the video, subscribe. If you want to support the stream, you can pay $5 a month, hit the join button, and let me thank members right now: Innovate Labs, Troy, and Jeffrey. Thank you for the support. Keeps the things going, and much appreciated. So, what we're getting into is very messy for any SaaS that has contract lengths that are different. So if you're trying to forecast SaaS revenue at any point in time, not like create a 5-year forecast. Well, it could go 5 years, but you want to say, it's June, and I want to know what the next 12 months look like based on my existing customers and expected additional customers. That's, trust me, so many people have problems with doing that. So what we have to do, there's a couple things. So first, we're going to do month to month. That's the easiest. And I actually don't know how I'm going to structure this yet because I haven't, I'm doing this here on the fly as we go. But let's see. So month to month is easier because you can just say a straight line, essentially almost a straight line depreciation of your existing customers. So, it's pretty simple. You can say, right now we have, let's say, 1,200 customers. That pay some amount of money per month. And we'll just do some formatting here. Let's say, so just to explain what's going on, so you got customer count, existing customers, and let's say you've got 4 tiers. We'll just do 4: 100, 500, 5,000. So here's your customers. Each tier is differentiated by, in this case, we're just saying price and obviously the count. Let's say they pay some amount of money. Let's just say 5, maybe 50, 560, it doesn't matter. 25 and 12. Just random numbers. Get rid of grid lines. And let's say we want to say, well, of our existing customers, how much revenue are we going to get? So we'll just do 60 months here. It could be, your forecast doesn't have to be that long though. Usually it's like 1 year to 2, maybe 3, but for a rolling forecast, we'll just go out to 60, it's fine. And we'll say, existing customers, monthly price, they pay, and then what else? We need to know the retention rate. So we're going to say, they could have different retention rates. So retention rate monthly. So what that means is, on a given month, let's say you added, of these 1,200 customers, let's say you started with 5,000 at some point in the past, and on average, every month you lose 3% of them. This is not a compounding rate, and that's a very important aspect to do when you're forecasting SaaS revenue. Is you can't just say, well, we're going to lose 3% every month but only 3% of the remaining. So that doesn't make sense, because then why are you saying essentially that you're losing less and less every month of the same cohort? That's not super logical. The more correct way and the more digestible way to do it is say, well, let's say every month I retain 97, and we'll do decimals here too, 97%. So I only lose, out of 100 people, I only lose 3 every month. And it's 3 every time, not like 3 and then a little bit less than 3 and a little bit less than 3. And let's say this is maybe a higher one, 98, maybe this is 75, just I'm making up numbers here. All that matters to you is that the math works for you when you put in your own figures for whatever you're building. So we got 2 things: customer count remaining, and then price or revenue from those customers. So we'll do, where do I want to put this? We may need some more here. Let's some more spaces. So let's put, so this is going to be remaining. Oh, and let's label these 2. We'll just go type 1, 2, 3, and 4 customers remaining. Actually, we don't. We'll just merge this. And we could say, okay, so we lose this times 1 minus here, 97%. Actually, what's a better way to do this? We can just say each month, lost per month. Simply, well, hold on, because we can't, so this percentage is tricky, because we need to actually know. Let's say this started at, let's say these customers you had, does this make sense? So if I had 100 and I lose, let's say 3% of that, I lose 3 a month. But then let's say we're now in month 5. 1, 2, 3. And I've already lost 15, now I'm at 85. And now I say my retention rate is 97% of this number. It's a smaller number. So, shoot, retention rate might not actually be relevant, because it's not relevant unless we know the starting cohort of every single past month since the startup has existed. So of these 1,200, I would need to know, well, how many joined last month, how many joined the month before, how many joined the month before that. Shoot, this is going to get complicated. Because that's the only accurate way to use retention. Oh man, this is not easy. Yeah, this is going to be. We're going to go data 1 here. We're going to have to say in the previous, we'll do 5 months in the past. So I've never done this before. We're just going to kind of go on the fly here. So let's say we go back 5 years. You're going to have to put in the history so we can get up to present. So this is like the current, so this would be -1, and then we'll go into here as the next one. So does this make sense? Man, this is hard. This is hard because now I have to say, go backwards. So 60 months ago, we're saying how many customers were added. And this is, and we're doing it for 4 tiers too. So this is like, so tier 1, we're gonna have to do multiple data tabs. Let's say, I mean, honestly, this is historical, so it's not forecasting. So you just need, this is gonna be just a hard-coded data input here. You're gonna have to enter. But that's hard too, because the idea is it's not that hard to create this, but now every month that rolls forward, you don't have to re-roll up the last 60 months to get the right information. I knew this was going to be hard. I wanted to do this because this is a pain point for a lot of people that do SaaS forecasts, like rolling forecasts. I'm trying to think of the most accurate way. So if we have a 1200, so we got like, say 25, 50. Let's say this was like our customer acquisition for this first tier. So we got 1,200. Let's say they joined month 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each month you had these people join. Now, how do you figure out from month 6 forward dynamically how much of these customers are going to be left? We'll get into added customers after this, but we need to figure out first. I gotta sit up. We gotta figure out how much of these customers are remaining in the future. Shoot, what are we gonna do? The easiest way is to say, okay, there's 1,200 on average. We lose. You can't do a percentage. Let's say this is 97, so you can say, well, every month, so this is that month, and then there's this many left, so technically you lost how many? 2, 3. So this is how many how many were lost. This is how many are left. This would be your revenue basis. But you can't do this based on the full 1,200, I don't believe. Let's see, let's do some proof here. So this is 36. What if we just multiply this by 97%? What's the difference there? Oh wait, 36. Okay. Now why that worked? Because I want to match. What if we do another month? So essentially it would be this minus this, or no, it would be this minus the amount you lost. And then again, you would do this minus this. I just want to see if it makes sense. So if we go, now we're down to so the first one we're at 1136, which makes sense, or 1164, which is 36 less. Next time we're at 1128. Now the question is, what if we go this times here, and then 36. Yeah, that works. 10. Okay. So this makes sense, but see if I'm proofing this correctly. So these are 1,200 that joined in the past. Well, no, because this is the first month. So in month 6, yeah, see, in month, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Because in month 6, this is down to a much smaller amount. In month 6, this is down to a less small amount, and so on and so on. So this logic proof doesn't even make sense. This doesn't work. We're thinking here. So I want to know in month 6 how many customers are left based on this. So at 97%, I'm gonna try and get to the number I know I need to be at and figure out the easiest way to do that. I think that's what we do. So C8. So here's 1. Here's month 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in month 2, we got 24. In month 3, this minus that. Right, is that 97? No, not exactly. Oh wait, that's okay though. It's not supposed to be, it just needs to be the same. So this is 7.5, 7.5, okay. 7.5. Okay, so now in month 6, I've got 21 of this left, this group. Now, that's only for, so this, now month 2 is already in here for this. This is at 50. And then see month 3 is going to be at 500, 500, and then 125. So you see how this is going to be tricky. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we lose 97. So month 6, we're not 44 on that one. Let's go here. Now it would work if every single month you added the same exact amount of people, I think. I don't know, but that's not obviously going to be the case for anybody. So now, if I'm trying to do a forecast starting in month, it's been 5 months since I started getting customers. I want to know, obviously, month 6, I have, yeah, this is going to be a hard number to get to. I have 1,100. So I have 1,100 people paying $5 a month in month 6 based on these retention rates. Here's the hard thing. That doesn't, like, there's no easy way that I can think of to get to this number, this 1,118, based on like just a quick data entry. Like you have to have, and then when you roll forward again, let me think. I wonder if you could just enter the data once. So if I enter 60 months worth of acquisition, user acquisition, no, because then in the next month you're gonna have to know the users that were joined, like in. It's got to keep rolling. So if I just did 60 months, did a forecast, and then next month I wanted to do it again, I would have to include the customers added the previous month in the 60 month history, or else they just wouldn't be counted. Oh man, this is hard. I mean, so the long way around it that would give you actually accurate information is every time you do the rolling forecast, you have to put in 60 months or however many, how much history you have, your historical acquisition of customers. And every new month you have to update it manually. So you'd have to like put the data in, and then next month, copy the last 59 months. You'd have to copy it. Copy, paste values over 60, and then you would add in your last month's acquisitions here. And then the next month you do it, you again take your take those, move them over one, add in last month. Take those, move over one, add in last month. And I mean, that might be the only way that I can think of to do this accurately. And that's like, I guess once you get the data in there once, you're now just copy, paste over a column and just entering another row in, or column, each month. So that's not that bad, I guess. There's no other way to do this right. There's just not. And I want to do this accurately as best as possible. So we don't need this. We're gonna need the retention. Now let me just put in some dummy data here. So let's say month 60 cohort, we added 50. Can we simplify this is the question. Do we need all this? I don't actually think. Let's see if this makes sense. Let's say historical user acquisition. So the oldest would be at the far left, and then as you get newer, you get in. So let's say, you're doing this last month, you added 500 customers. Let me format this, hold on. Then the month before that, you added 150, and then 60, 650, etc. Just do ran between. Okay, so I'm just randomly putting in some numbers. Let's say this is your historical acquisition, and well, we know what it'll look like if we have all the history. Let's say there's not history for all of the last 60 months. Let's say it's just, you got, say 21 months of data. So here's the users that you acquired in the last 21 months. Now the trick is, based on a retention rate, going forward from this point, let's do a big dark black line here. What else? All right, 1. And we go forward 60. You don't need more than 60 months forward. Okay, this actually might work fine. And this is good because this is going to be the basis for how we do calculations for varying contract lengths too, I believe. So now I want to know in month 1, how many of, okay, so here's my user acquisition. Now I need to do the the months from 60 to 0. So we say index pull the users acquired if the column matches this column 1 or row 1, and it'll be 0 if you didn't add any. So we're looking up like this. And then we should, how's this going to work? So I've got numbers coming in. I guess I also need to match two things. And if this equals this, and do that, otherwise 0. Now what do we got? It's just gonna give me this, yeah. So it's just giving me that. Okay, that's good. That's good. So negative. Yes, and now, so it starts that, and then going forward, I need to see how long this is going to last, and we'll go into the positive ones too. Okay, that's good, good, good. So that works. And I say, this should be locked. I'm surprised this is actually figured it out. I didn't know how this was going to work. And we've now got a path forward. Oh, let's make sure I've got sound here. Real quick. Test. Test. Okay, good. We got sound. All right, people. So we need to trigger. So when this is, we'll use this as the first matrix. We use this as the second. And we say if this is greater than, no, if B4 equals this, then just pull the amount, whatever it is. Otherwise, if sum of this is greater than 0, then take the amount. What's the easiest way to do this? We might have to do more matrices here. If B4 equals that, then obviously choose the amount. No. Okay, we do if this is greater than 0, then 1, otherwise 0. And then we do if B66 is greater. Let's see, do I care the length? What do I care about here? If this is greater than 0, then this plus 1. Otherwise, just do if this is greater than 0, then. So here we got a count. We can actually go all the way over. So this is showing the length of time that the customer has been a customer once they start becoming a customer. So 1, 2, 3. That's fine. Now we just need to know the percentage left at the given life point age of the cohort. And then to update this, it's still not bad. You just take the most recent 59 columns, move them back 1, and then put in your most recent month here. And it'll be, so this will be tier 1. We'll do up to 4 tiers. That covers most SaaS products. Now, why did we stop? Let's go all the way to the minus 1. Okay. So all that's left is just do the percentage remaining for each cohort. This is stuff, I mean, there's no easy way to do this other than pull this through, because you can't, of your existing customers, you have to know when they joined and your retention rate, average retention per month, to figure out each cohort is going to be different. You can't just apply that percentage to this and go forward. It's not accurate whatsoever. So this is the only way to do it right, or the most accurate way. All right, let's see if we can get a good number now. And my goal is to find remaining customers into the future. So I'm gonna put a cohort here so I can see. So this is 1. I guess I can do a lookup. Let's just go to tier 1. So obviously the first month is 100% retention, and then month 2 is this for tier 1, and then we go so we want 3%. That percentage needs to be the difference every month forward. So B3, because it's not a compounding loss. Okay. And month number. And we'll just have to look this table up, and then we'll get our number. Now this will be really good for varying contract lengths when you have a SaaS where the contract lengths vary. And let's say, I guess we go 120 for a full. if you potentially have customers for the full past 5 years and into the future, that'll be the max. And you can't have a negative here, so we just go this equals max of this or 0. Okay, that's all we needed. Now we can just say remaining customers, and we simply go index, pull this percentage based on the month, the age matching this. So there's my percentage. And I just multiply that times the max of the customers added for that cohort, which is here. And we obviously don't want this and this. We don't want to show after, so we don't want it to start until the age starts. So if their life cycle hasn't started, this is 0. And here we have it. I think this is it. And you can see we can extend this out so you can see how much. Oh, I mean, well, shoot. No, that's fine. That's fine. I was thinking in the historicals, you actually know how many customers were left over time, but we only want to know what's left over time to predict the future of what might be left. So that's fine. That's where your retention rate is going to come in. This 97% is going to be based on your customer retention in the historically, and then essentially it's showing, okay, based on that, on average, how much did you lose per month whenever they started? Like you can see down here, let's say 21 months ago you had your first customers. On average, the retention rate up to this point is X%, and then this is going to give you the average customers that were remaining over time based on that, and then it can use that to do the future. So now, oh, this is great. So this is your historical. This is now remaining customers. And the data doesn't really matter for the historicals as far as what this is saying because it's an average, but what does matter is you can now get a better forecast. So I just sum up all of this for the last 60 months and then the future 60 months. And the future is what we've been trying to figure out how to get to is a good number. And this is it. And then you can see the degradation of the existing customers based on that 97% retention rate. That's basically saying here's how much will be left, and then after 33 months into the future, the existing customers for that tier are gone based on this retention. And you could change the retention. Let's say it's 98%. Now it's going to be 50 months. It should be able to go out to, or somewhere around there. Yeah, 50 months. And the key is that's nice, is we can see the variation in cohorts based on when customers joined, and that's going to determine how many are left of each monthly cohort that joined. And that number, you can't calculate this any other way. You have to have this reference. There's no other way. And people usually force other ways, and it gives them less accurate information because they don't know or don't want to do this, but this is the best way. So remaining customers, and now let's say I want to update. let's say we now move forward a month, because this whole thing is to do a rolling forecast. I just go, so this was the old previous month. I just go copy all the way back, copy, paste values, one column back. This is my roll forward, and then I put in, okay, well, how many customers did I have last month? And now you can see that 350, and then we get all the numbers essentially are now updated to a proper roll. And it makes sense, because if you roll forward enough and you don't add any more customers, this would just go to 0. And as you add new customers, it rolls. That's the whole point, it rolls. And then the next piece, I'm going to have to get up and stand and stretch for a second. That was my back. But the next piece is then, here's my existing customer stuff. I also want to say, what do I expect to add? Same retention rate, but what customers do I think I'm going to add over time? 1 second. Be right back. Stretch in. Okay, so good thing, I didn't know if I was going to figure out a template that works with this, but it worked. So all right, we're back. Yeah, so I'll probably only stream an hour today, and hopefully, normally I do 2 or 3 hours, but I just can't sit for that long right now because of all this crap. Okay, so what we've got here, I'm trying to sit up straight. Let's do, at least if I get the configuration for type 1 or tier 1 done, that's, I feel like, very good. So remaining revenue, we just do existing customers. It's going to be this number times Now it's going to be real tricky when we have varying contract lengths, but because we have this matrix structure in place and the retention, I think I'll just have to add let me think. Oh, just add the term, and I think I can do the same, pretty much the same logic, so I think it's going to be fine. So this existing customer is actually going to be a dynamic reference to, we're going to say there's this many existing, and then next month, here's my revenue from this cohort. And remember, this is going to go down always because you're assuming you're not looking at added customers, you're just looking at what I have now. How long when do they join? How long do they stay for on average? So what's my average retention rate? And then what's the expected revenue from that? And then we'll do that for up to 4 tiers. And then let's do future revenue or future customers. But wait a second, I have to do retention rate, expected life of a customer. This is just for a reference, so you can see if you put in 98%. So 2. What is it? Divided by 1. Oh wait. 50 months. So on average, now that makes sense. What if your retention rate per month was 50%? Then technically the life is 2. So there's 2. Let's say it's 75%. Then I think it'd be 4 months. Yeah, 4. Okay, that makes sense. 90% would be 10. And if you want to convert it to years, you just multiply or divide by 12. So on average here, type 1 customer, their average life is 10 months. This is how many existing customers we have. And you can see how I changed the retention. The existing customers changed because that means less are there from, if we had a 95%, then of the customers that joined, there'd be more left now. 90, now there's only 1,800 left. This is actually really cool. This template is, the stuff that's going on here is going to give a lot of people a lot less headaches. So this is revenue forecast existing tier 1. Okay, let's think about, so this is existing customers. Now we want to say, what about future customers? So retention rate is going to stay the same because that's for the whole tier. No, that does not need to change. That's fine. This, we haven't actually done the rest of these yet. Existing customers doesn't make sense. These are only future. So now what we'll do, so here's existing tier 1 customers revenue. Now we need to do forecasted. So we have this matrix style. We're going to do this for tier 1. I'm going to say tier 1E for existing. We'll just write it out. No. Do existing 1. This will be existing 1. Maybe it's easier with a dash. And then 2, 3, 4. And then we'll do future here's how we're going to do this. Now you'll probably have other models that tell you how many customers you think you're going to add. That's not what this needs to do. This needs to know expected users required. So if you have some program or something that says, okay, in this, we don't need to know anything about the past. So delete this. Don't need any of that. If I can get this logic structure done, I'll be happy. So we got all logic structures done. We'll continue on next week. So you might have some kind of program that says in the future you're going to add, I don't know, let's say between this many customers each month in the future. And you could have it be growth. You could say, well, we're going to add 10, and then in year 1 we're going to go by 5% per month. In year 2 we're going to go by a little bit lower. All that is separate. We don't need to know that, and that's something you can pull in from something else. But I'm trying to keep this template as simple as possible with the main inputs, so we're not worried about. Let me copy and paste that. We're not worried about putting logic in for that. It's just as long as there's a spot. Here's the customers you think you're going to add in the future, and then based on the retention rate, we can simply build all this future revenue forecast. So we've done this a lot. Simply, if this equals that, then pull the existing customers. I think that's how it works. I've done these future matrices I've done all the time for SaaS, so pretty straightforward. Perfect. 53. Got it. So I can do. We'll need to know the age. So logic's already there. Just go if this is greater than 0, then this on down, and now we're counting customer life, and then with this similar thing, if B67 is less than 1 and 0, right? Otherwise index and times the max of this here. So that makes sense. 308. How much are we losing? 34. Okay, 34 every time, and that should be 10%, which is what our retention is. Yep, perfect. So that's all good. Alrighty. that's fine. Okay. So there's the expected future customers. We'll do some of these. And if you wanted to go deeper, you could see, like, you can see how many you've lost based on each cohort's loss per period. But we're not necessarily trying to show. I mean, we could. I might add that. But for now, I just care about, okay, here's how many customers I think I'll add in the future. Based on a retention rate, here's how many should be left over time. And they're paying $5 a month. So here's the revenue. Beautiful. So that's it. Now I just got to duplicate that logic 4 times. And then there's your total revenue forecast. And now when you go to update it, so we know how to update the existing. You just simply copy the last 59 columns, paste them over one, add your most recent one, and then for the future, you just add in what your future expected customers added are. And then it will run off of this price and this retention rate and show you your total revenue forecast rolling. And you can do this every month if you wanted to, which is nice, because you couldn't. Usually people have a big problem trying to forecast revenue based on existing customers and future. And really the main problem is with existing, and how do you figure out, based on when people joined, how many actual total customers are left at any one point in time. So there you have it. So we can see the effect of existing customer revenue and how long that lasts, and we can see the effect of added customers and how long that lasts. And this, I mean, you could, and just to show you more about how you would update it on the rolling. So let's say in the future, you said you're going to add 342. Let's say you only added 200. Well, when you go to update this, you would put 200. First, you would copy last 59, copy, paste them down a column. That's your roll. All the logic works fine, just do that. And then add, how much did I say, 200 or 150 for last month, and then we get a new updated forecast. And then go to your future and then add what you think you're going to do in the next X, how many customers you're going to add over the next X months. 60 forward and 60 back for months is probably that's going to cover almost anything. So when I add this, I'll do another tier for 2, 3, and 4. All the same logic though. So today I went through the most important logic, which is how this is going to work. These are month to month, which means we're just straight lining the loss of customers every month. I am going to do one that's not month to month, where you can define I'll do 4 tiers, customer types, and I'll do where you'll have, the average contract length might be 12 months for this one, 6 months for this, and then based on that, we'll do it'll be a similar style as this, but we'll have to do different logic for these matrices for when existing customers actually come up for a renewal, and it's going to be different for depending on what month they joined. And that the future will be pretty much the same, and that will require some more validation lists to do. So we'll have to do 4 separate tiers, and these months will simply be, it'll be like 100%, and then this will be like month 13 if it's a 12 month, and then it'll be X%, but it'll all be dynamic. So, but I thought it was good to do a month to month, and then we'll do a varying contract. And that'll cover essentially, and we got 4 tiers. I mean, that's going to cover like 99% of SaaS businesses. This will be a rolling revenue forecaster for all of them. All right. I'm gonna hop off here. It's been about an hour. I'll see you next Monday at 10. I'll be doing the same work on the same sheet. We'll keep on. Don't forget, check out smarthelping.com for financial models. Smarthelping.com. I've done a lot of work categorizing all the templates. I've made bulk bundles. If you want to buy templates in by certain categories, you can get a big discount, or search, checking them out. There's stuff for all kinds of businesses, industry specific. I've got over, I think, 110, 115 now, for accounting, HR, all different kinds of businesses, real estate, joint ventures. So lots of stuff to choose from. Alrighty,